Hello, my name is Hersh, and welcome to the HERshyt Show. Well, a little bit about it. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you'll probably cuss at me, but that's all right. I just want to bring to you the realization of what's really going on in this world that a lot of people are afraid to speak on. Enjoy. All right, we're back. So back to the serious topic of PTSD. Another story, another experience, should I say, that I went through. We was coming back. I was in the Anbar province and in Aramati. It was more of a Marine base. We were there to set up the communication side. But I ended up becoming a gunner. And we was coming back from a memorial from another site. And they needed another gun truck, so the brigade had asked for us to, ride along and handle our business and be a part of the convoy. So that's what we did. And on the way back, coming down through one of the cities or the town, you could see the bypass where the route we was going. It was an old railroad track that we would use, and you see them lined up like another unit. Their job was to patrol the city, And I remember when we was going down, I looked down one of the roads. I had just seen the kids, because, the kids used to love running by, soldier, American, and whatever. We used to throw candy out and all that good stuff. But I remember seeing a lone Humvee. And I thought to myself, why are they riding by themselves? Maybe that's what they do. I don't know what their mission is, and how they do things. But you could see the rest of the, they were posted up under the bypass. And then all of a sudden, a dude ran out with an RPG, knee, boom. So, we had to do what we had to do. And we ended up being security. And when they pulled them bodies out of that burning Humvee and rushing them into, it was like, you had to go in and go. But only thing I'm thinking about is the kids, that I just saw around the corner.
Just threw some candy at.
Luckily, we did not get ambushed. But these soldiers ended up being extremely burnt. I don't even know what the end result was. Right. But you could see just I'm thinking of somebody's parents, that could be me. Right. But you're in that mind frame. You're trained to do what you got to do. Yeah. In any situation. So I'm thinking I'm looking down this alleyway like, but we got the hell on. We got, they was able to get the bodies into another vehicle and we booked it back to base or whatnot. But it bothers you. Yeah. And at that moment, it doesn't bother you. Yeah. Right. At that moment, you're amped. You're ready to go. Like, this is what I was trained for. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But then when you get home,
settle down.
When you settle down and all that,
adrenaline and all that shit is gone.
Everything is done.
Yeah.
Now you're with your thoughts.
Yep. All by your damn self. And all you keep hearing is boom.
Yeah.
Bam.
Oh, I hate fireworks. Yeah. I dislike strobe lights. Yeah. I dislike all of that. But it's not just the military is what the biggest thing is. It's not, people get into bad car wrecks. And I can't be a passenger in somebody else's car because I've hit the windshield, in a wreck that wasn't my own and I was in the passenger side.
You have to be the driver.
I have to be the driver. Anybody that knows me knows you ain't driving me nowhere.
But see, that's me.
Yeah, it makes sense. She's always driving.
I'm always driving.
But see, that's me. Because anytime, if I'm passenger, if I got to push imaginary brakes, your ass can't drive.
No, you can be the perfect driver. Yeah. But I'm on because I'm such a defensive driver. You know what I mean?
If I'm in the passenger seat and I'm like, no, your ass can't drive. You can't drive. We can't do that shit.
So just on the civilian side of the aspect, outside of the military, because we could talk military all day long, I promise you. But not every day in the military is chaotic. Like, it's not all about just the explosion. Yeah. You smoking and joking and you're doing your job. You're doing what you was trained to do. It's not all about combat, Yeah. So please don't be afraid to serve if you want to serve.
Yeah.
But the civilian aspect of it, because Flea's never served, but she knows, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stories, but do you know of any situations or examples of dealing with somebody with PTSD and having to get them out of that situation, or have you been in a situation where you had to get out of because somebody couldn't cope with their own
Both sides. I mean, both sides.
traumas?
The trauma part, like mental illness, the abuse that goes behind it, the repeated abuse.
Yeah.
Whether it's words, whether it's attacking you nonstop, and that stuff adds up.
Yeah.
And you get triggered, and you start shaking. When you start shaking for no reason at all, that's a trigger, and you start. Like I said, it's just like an instinct. I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? I am. I don't know, maybe it's past life, but I am, and that's what. I'm like, I start. Don't do it. I'm the most peaceful person in the world, but don't. It's like my hand. No, I mean, don't. Nope.
Even growing up, certain things that we've been through that we can laugh about now.
Yeah.
Some of those are still triggers.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
And if we don't learn how to cope with them.
Because you can tell a story from your doggone childhood and me from mine. And that shit is not like another person's childhood coming up.
Yeah.
They'll listen to our story and be like, what the? Where did you come up at? Where did you grow up?
Yeah.
Because PTSD happens in civilians. Like the street cats that you see, the drug dealers and all this stuff, their lives are virtual wars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got to keep looking over their shoulder. They got to know who's doing this and doing that and blah, blah, blah. It was like, so that cat who's doggone taking care of the block, and you know what I'm saying? You know he the man on the block. It was like that cat is the most stressed out of everybody.
And very paranoid.
Yeah, and he's the most paranoid motherfucker on the block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why he's the doggone man. He don't trust no fucking body, but he still shows love.
Yeah.
That's the front that he has to put on. He has to put on being cool and calm all the doggone time.
Yeah.
He's taking care of the block and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. But this motherfucker has been in shootouts and all of this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And now next thing you know, after, every doggone street cat have their expiration date.
But not even just street cats though. No. It's regular people.
That's what,
like outside of just the hood, right. You got people.
Because the regular people have been affected by this street dude.
Well, to a certain degree, but you have people that, and we was talking about this off camera, but growing up, nobody ever knew what I went through. Mm-mm. Nobody ever knew what you went through. Mm-mm. Only the cats on the block knew what you was going through. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I was very self-preserved. And I brought that along through my entire adulthood as well, where I stay preserved. I only let you know what I want to let you know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want people seeing you and feeling that pity or feeling that. We got to get away from the stigma of mental health.
Yeah. Because the whole thing is doggone is weakness. You know what I'm saying?
People, they put that stereotype out there.
You or nobody else up in here to perceive that I'm weak.
Yeah, in any kind of way.
You hit the nail on the head. That's
it. Mm-hmm. And that's
it's showing vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's it, being vulnerable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even prior to today, you never, like you said, you never told nobody that story that experience, not even a story, the experience that you went through.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes to show that you have.
Me, dog, I feel cool enough and comfortable enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like, I don't tell people what happened in Iraq, except for people that was in Iraq. In Afghanistan, we had situations where we got attacked, May 19, 2010. You can Google that and look it up on YouTube.
You see how you just ripped that off? That quick, that's how a stain on the brain that it is. Mm-hmm.
But that morning, I promise you, I came out with my coffee cup looking, and I had a cast on my leg, and I'm like, what the hell y'all got going on? And you see people, because I've already been there and done that. I've been through the IEDs. I've seen the burnt bodies. I've worked with mortuary affairs. I've done things that opened my eyes up. So you could tell who the new people in combat were. Mm-hmm. They like little roaches. It was just, everybody was sliding into bunkers. I'm out there in some flannel pajamas like.
Copycat, what's going on?
Mm-hmm. But I automatically went into that mode, and that's what trauma does to you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you might not even look at it as being a traumatic event. Like, you can sit around and laugh and joke with it, but when you're by yourself, baby, that bitch is a whole nother level when you actually
because you can actually sit there and tell a story about some real life blowing up, bodies burning stuff, and you can tell that story to somebody who knows what you've been through, and you tell that story, and you're gonna tell it. it's gonna sound funny.
Yeah. Because you're gonna clown with it. You're gonna clown with it.
You be like, man, if you would have seen how that motherfucking Humvee jumped up and flipped and bam, it was like, it looked like 2 briskets up in that motherfucker. Yeah, like,
because that's another thing. We actually, dealing with trauma, we turn into comedians.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people to feel bad for you.
Right.
That makes so much sense.
Or make it look simple. You know, I don't want the sympathy.
Because that's our defense mechanism.
Yeah.
That's our defense mechanism. Because when I was short,
I heard everything was a joke.
Yeah, everything is a joke.
Yeah. When I was short, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wasn't born.
He's 6'5". I think he came out 6'5".
When I was short, it was like everybody was taller than me. Everybody was bigger than me. I know. In my brain, I get into it with him. I'm a goner.
You know what though? Me being as little as I am, I used to always amp myself up like that and be like, man, if I let this mug put me down to the ground, I'm done. Yeah. So I got to do everything I can to one, stay on my 2 feet. Yeah. You know, but my daddy always taught me, baby, if they bigger than you, pick up something, knock they big ass out and keep on moving.
That's what we were taught. That's how we were taught. But my whole thing was, it was like,
you amp yourself up?
Look, I amp myself up, but I was always cool. I was always funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, everybody wanted me around. Little Red. They call me Little Red.
Yeah.
It was like, everybody, where Little Red at?
But you sure ain't little now.
Nah. But, you know, sooner or later, you know, you don't have to prove yourself one way or the other.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was, as I got older, the defense mechanism just became a part of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm always clowning. I'm always acting ass. So now, if you happen to have been a witness of some of my bullshit, so when I click or go off, you be like, that motherfucker crazy. It's like, no, I'm not crazy.
That's how you cope. That's how you.
Yeah. I just reacted to that shit the way I was supposed to react to it. All you used to is me being funny all the fucking time.
But what people what people really need to understand and resonate with it, it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be disappointed. Right. It's your reactions.
Yep.
You can act or react.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to, you know, sometimes it gets to a boiling point.
Right.
And that's where people need to also understand is stop holding everything in. Mm-hmm. Speak your piece, baby, because you might end up snapping off on the wrong person that ain't had nothing to do. Exactly.
And we be like, what the fuck wrong with you, Flea? Flea, what the fuck did you do? Like, damn.
Because you've always been a jokester. You've always been, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but dealing with people that
I was nice to you on my deathbed, and I was still laughing and cutting up. That was my way of coping with it.
Yeah,
trying to make everybody else.
But she got bit by the snake. Y'all gonna have to rewind a couple of shows.
Yeah.
A flea got bit by a snake. How the fuck did that happen?
So I was like, that was my way of.
She was still clowning.
Dealing with it. You know, I was like, well, I'm gonna make everybody else feel good and laugh, and it's not gonna be so serious. You know, I mean, that's how I dealt with it.
So what did you say? What did you say?
What?
When he got bit by the snake, he's trying to.
I'm cracking up inside. Tell me.
Everybody was like, what did you do? I'm like, because I got bit right here on the hand.
Okay.
And everybody's like, that must be a funny story. And I'm like, what? It's my fault. There's a bunch of dogs around, and I went and the garden hoe and slammed it in the big old rocks, and I tried to grab its tail and get the dog back, and when I did, it went,
some white people shit.
Yeah. Yes.
That was pure white people shit. I can't blame pure white as hell. Pure white people shit right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, running up and playing with nature. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm like, my fault.
You don't want to hear the crackling in the woods. Like, huh?
What is that?
Let's go check it out.
Y'all get flashlight. I got this. Let's go.
But no, seriously though, you got to own up to your situation, and just as a whole, you have to sit in the mirror, have that actual deep discussion with why I am, because we all have some toxic traits that we need to face. I'll be the first to admit it. Because when I was snapping off on everybody and, you know, just coming through the house like, fuck everybody, you know, I knew something was wrong.
Right.
Because this wasn't me anymore. This is not who I am anymore. It usually takes a lot to get me to that. I'll still snap off.
Right.
But it takes me a lot to get to that point. But when I started, it was just the negative emotions.
And you have no trouble with saying I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
No,
I will apologize.
She'll always, you know what? You'll think about it, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Or I apologize. You know?
Yeah.
But I got to think about it.
Yeah, you got to let it settle.
Right.
Yeah, I have to let it think because
process that shit. Because
yeah,
guess what? When you did it, your ass was wrong.
No,
now, go ahead.
I'm not apologetic for what I said. It's just how I said it. You know what I'm saying?
You have no qualms about it. I mean, you're like,
no,
no,
I'll apologize, and then I will apologize to you and to me for allowing you to get me to that point because I should not allow anybody to get me to that level of destruction. Because now I'm forced to, I always tell people, do what your pockets, your sanity, and your freedom can handle. And I have to remind myself that. Because at one point, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
if something was popping off, it was popping off, let's go. You know, everybody was calling, hey, Tasha, da-da-da-da-da. You know, but now I'm like, that's your business. Like, what did you do to start it?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, shit. Motherfucker, man, did you see what the fuck Tasha and Doggone did? Well, what that motherfucker did.
Yeah, exactly. But if you hear, I've never been a starter. But I've always been known to be the finisher.
I've always been taught that.
Yeah.
Don't start it. But
yeah, don't never start nothing. But dealing with PTSD and traumatic events is real.
Yes, it is.
Bottom line, it's very much real. And we have to
pay attention.
The way this society is now, and it's been so open and free, back in the day, we couldn't sit around and talk about mental health.
Man, fuck no.
You better suck it up and drive on.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You better suck it up because we got these bills to pay. You got school to do, X, Y, Z. But now, break away from the stigmas, man. You're not weak. You're actually very strong.
Yeah, to be admitting your brother, that's actually a strong point. That's a strength, to be honest with you.
And you ain't got to tell everybody your business.
Exactly. That's the whole doggone thing. That you don't let what's in out because you think that everybody, no.
Yeah.
It was like that same cat, your same best partner that you tell any and every doggone thing, and you don't even tell him or her that.
Yeah. There's a problem.
That's a fucking problem.
You need to go talk to somebody from the outside looking in, but do your research on who you're about to walk in and talk to, because
and that shit is fucking hard. It's like because you haven't for all these years doggone tried to fix anything, and then when you do try to fix something and then it doesn't go that way, you're gonna shove that shit right into the goddamn sandbox. You're not gonna even. And
I'm done with that one. Yeah.
People like you know, the situation you was talking about, dealing with somebody with PTSD. Yeah. You don't have to stay in that situation. No. Don't feel bad.
Hell, fuck no.
Because some people can't be helped. They have to want the help.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
That's it.
You can't force them to change or to get with the program, or because especially people that's been through real strong traumatic, and something minute to us might be very traumatic to somebody else. So don't compare.
That's it.
There's no comparison. Like my story's not worse than yours. Yours ain't worse than mine. We've been through something, and my perception is my perception.
But it has doggone affected each one of us in our doggone way.
In our own way.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You tell a story to me and I'll be like, what the fuck? I was like, for real?
And I'm over here laughing about it like, man, I'm good though. I tell
a story to you, and you know what I'm saying? You like, damn, I ain't even
I looked at her sideways with the snake bite. And
that's just the temperate one. I got several more.
You got several more snake bite stories?
No. Hey, I almost got bit about 2 months later.
Really?
Yep.
Doing some more white people shit out.
No, I was actually running. Well, maybe they didn't wipe your shit. I was jogging. And that's some bitch on the side. I went, that cannot be what I think it is. And I looked down, it was the same copperhead, same size, and it was snapping.
The cousin was coming after you.
And then you get bit by the real snakes too.
I was like, and I was looking up thinking, what?
Bottom line, because we got to wrap the show up.
And for the record, one thing I want to say, I'm going to start saying my stories when I was short. You know how he says when I was short? I'm going to start saying when I was short. When I was short.
Bottom line is, know your situation. Be courageous enough to admit that you do have possible issues.
That's right.
Seek out the help. And do not stay in the situation if it is no longer comfortable for you. You don't have to battle that with that individual if you don't want to.
Exactly.
That also takes courage.
Yeah.
But until next time, this is the HERshyt Show.
Love you to life.
subscribe to the HERshyt Show at TheHERshytShow. Brought to you by 8 Robinsons TV and Yellow Tub Creative.